Happy Saturday, or greetings whenever you're joining us. My name is Caitlin. This is Comeback Yoga's Level 2 Saturday morning class, and this month we're focusing on resilience. And I love resilience as part of the things that we can take away from our mat, especially in the comeback community, because science tells us that servicemen and women are really gifted in resilience, as well as the people in our community who have healed or done the work of healing. So sometimes we can come to the yoga mat looking to improve upon something or learn something new or build on a challenging part of life. And sometimes the mat can be a place where we remember gifts that we have or build on things that already make us great or come to a new understanding of who we are. And I'm really excited about exploring resilience this month. And we're going to practice today for about 40 minutes or so. Just remember, all of those minutes are yours. This is the time you set aside for yourself. So if ever I'm leading us in a shape that you don't want to be in, or you know you'll regret tomorrow, don't do that. Do something else that brings you joy, makes you feel good, or just take a break. It's always good to have water nearby. This is a level 2 class, so I always try to remember that when I can. And since I'm remembering things, I want to share that there is no shame in the wall game. I always set up next to a wall if possible. Chairs work just as well, or a sturdy table nearby. If you'd like to have that, think about where you can set up. Know that we will be challenging and offering some balance poses if you would like in your practice today. And we will get started arriving in your space. So maybe you're seated with your legs in front of you like me. Maybe you prefer to rest on your shins or even in a chair to get started. Just arrive. And take a personal body scan. I'm not going to walk you through it. Just check in with as many parts of you as you can right now. Notice the parts that feel heavy. Allow them to arrive, to rest. Notice any parts that feel light or already well rested. And from there, we're going to bring our awareness to our breath. And there's a ton of ways to do that. We're going to use our hands this time. So maybe you bring your hands to your shoulders and you use your arms, your elbows, and your palms to notice the air moving throughout your body. Maybe you bring your hands to your chest. Feel your air that way. Or maybe you bring your hands to your belly button or any space in between. And before or once you've arrived, just notice the palms and make them palms of acceptance, friends. No judgment here, just arriving to notice our breath. So first, notice everything that you can about the breath moving in the body and the spaces where your hands rest. There's no need to change your breath in any way. And from there, maybe you use the other senses to notice your breath. So maybe you hear your breath, or you feel the temperature of the air coming in your body, the temperature of the air leaving your body. Maybe you notice movements in your body and the clothes against your skin as you inhale and exhale. From here, friends, today I am encouraging you to choose an intention, or rather set an intention for this time that you've set aside for yourself to practice. And an intention is just really anything that you wish for yourself for this time. And I will offer one as an option. Perhaps your intention is to recognize your breath as a sign of your resilience. Just know, friends, that you can always stay here, however many minutes we have together. If you spend them noticing your breath with intention, they are well spent. And if you are ready to move on, you might leave your hands where they are, or you might drop them to your sides. And then we'll bring some gentle movement into the neck. So maybe you look over one shoulder and then the other. Maybe you drop your chin to your chest and then look up to the opposite shoulder. Maybe you look up to the sky. Maybe you make circles with your nose. Whatever feels good. And anything in between. And if you did one thing on one side, do the same on the other. And as you move, notice your shoulders, the column of your neck, the jaw, upper back, chest. This neck and head, top of our spine, is plugged into so many parts of our body, and I often don't realize it until I have a crick in my neck. And maybe that's you today, and you've chosen to take it easy, be kind to yourself. And once you feel even and well moved in the neck, we will come to our cat-cows on our tabletop. So I'm going to bring my hands underneath my shoulders, my knees underneath my hips. And for my cow, I'm going to drop my belly button towards the mat and then look up towards the sky and point my tailbone towards the sky. For cow, I'm going to press the mat away, draw the belly button in and round the spine, tucking the chin and the tailbone. Then moving here through cat and cow with your breath. For 3 more breaths. Maybe on this next breath, you inhale your intention and then exhale, send it out. So strong. From here, downward facing dog, friends. So I'm going to step my hands, palms height away forward, and then I'm going to tuck my toes, lift my hips high, send the hips back. Think about anything that might feel good here. So take what you might need in your down dog. Maybe people like to shimmy their shoulders or their hips. Some people like to swing into a plank and then come back, or drop one heel and then the other. Bend the knees. Take what you need and then arrive in your down dog. Settle into stillness, whatever that looks like for you. And for the next 4 breaths, we're going to notice our breath without our hands. So the hands are supporting us here. Use everything else to notice your breath. Inhaling your intention, filling up, and then exhaling, sending it out. So strong. From here, we're going to come to stand at the top of the mat. So maybe you come through tabletop. Maybe you step your feet up towards the hands, come into a forward fold, and then slowly lift up. Once you've arrived in standing, do not change anything. Don't make any adjustments. I always like to fix my pants or my shirt. Just arrive. Settle in. Let it be. Beautiful. Now, if your feet aren't already as close to one another as they can, bring your feet towards one another. drawing the thighs in towards one another. It's okay if they're not touching, but you want to think about engaging and bringing everything into the center line, all the way from in between your toes up to the crown of your head, past your nose. Gorgeous. Okay. From there, I'm going to think about pointing my tailbone for the mat. So I'm tucking my tailbone a little bit, bringing my weight into my heels. I'm going to bend my knees. You decide how deep you bend your knees for chair pose. There she is. There's a little crack. Perfect. Okay. From there, lift the hands. Maybe they come palms together in front of the chest. Maybe fingertips reach high. Wherever they are, shoulders are drawing away from your ears. Chair pose. I know you're working here. For 3 more breaths, bring everything into center and focus on your breath. Okay, on your next inhale, we're going to reach high through the crown of the head or the fingertips. On the exhale, we send the fingertips back. So it's like we're reaching the pinkies for the ceiling, but our shoulders are still drawing away from the ears and towards one another, towards the spine. Inhale, hands lift. Exhale, send back. Inhale, hands come forward. Exhale, integrity in the pinkies, really reaching and lifting. Inhale, hands come forward. Exhale. So strong. One more time. Beautiful. Now come to standing and bring your weight into your right foot. And we're going to float the left foot. So maybe your one-legged mountain has your left foot literally hovering. There's like just a paper height of space in between your foot and the mat. That's totally fine. You're balancing, you're building strength, pressing the mat away with the grounded foot. Maybe you engage the hips and the length of the left leg to lift the left foot, so much so that it's like you're going to step on a little step in front of you. You don't want it past your hip, so you decide. Anywhere in between. Think about evening out the hips as much as possible. So the right hip is lifting up and the left hip is finding squareness. Yeah, maybe dropping down a little bit. Beautiful. From here, we're going to step into our crescent lunge. Maybe you just step the left foot back. Maybe you allow the left foot to hover and think about where you want to land. It doesn't matter, just get there however you like. And then make any adjustments once your left foot is back that you need to have this really strong foundation. So once you've arrived, no worries if you want to switch it up. Maybe you step a little bit forward. Maybe you need a little bit of space for your hips and you step over to the side. Arrive. Sometimes people really like a deep lunge, whatever feels good for you. And then once you've arrived, before we move on and build from here, really take note of the foundation. Take note of how much of your feet are resting on the mat, really pressing into the mat. So the back heel is lifted, the front foot is pressing into the mat, and the head is over the hips. Take note of the bends in the knees, the muscles that are engaged, and if you haven't already, think about sending the left hip forward, right hip back, and then arrive in your foundation. From here, arrive in your full crescent lunge. So maybe your hands lift, or maybe they come to heart center, totally up to you. Taking note of everything you can to make this your crescent lunge for today, knowing that tomorrow will be different. Yesterday was too. One more breath here. Beautiful. From here, we're going to drop the hands and then open the hips out to the left side of the mat. So my heels will come in, my toes will be out, and my legs are out wide. Beautiful. We're going to extend the hands as far as they'll possibly go. And then as you inhale, think about the rib cage expanding, getting really long too. Exhale, reach the fingertips as far away from one another as you can. Draw the shoulders towards one another. Beautiful. 3 more breaths like that, getting really big as you inhale. Exhale, reaching the fingertips. Inhale. And exhale. Nice. One more. Beautiful. Drop the hands. Now, yogi's choice. Maybe you want to step forward on the mat. Maybe you want to step to the back of the mat. None of my business. You do what you want. Okay. Find your chair. Not as long here, building the integrity, weights in the back of the heels. You decide how deep you bend. Inhale, hands are forward. Exhale, send the hands back, airplane arms. Nice. One more breath here. Inhale. And exhale, send the hands back. So strong. Now we're going to bring our weight into the left leg. Right leg lifts one-legged mountain. You decide the height, as long as it's not past your hips. For 2 more breaths, thinking about evening out the hips as much as possible. And then sending the right leg now back in for our crescent lunge. So the right heel is going to stay popped up, and maybe you take note, maybe you look down and notice your feet. That's okay. Maybe once you've arrived, you need to adjust, no worries. But once again, once you've found the foundation that feels good in your feet, don't look at them so much with your eyes. Really notice how they feel with your awareness of yourself, of your body. Where are the bends in your knees? Right heel is lifted. How much of the right foot is resting on the mat? That feels good. Just notice without looking as much as possible. It's okay if you need to look. Take note. And then arrive. Maybe you lift your hands. Maybe they come to heart center. Wherever they are, shoulders are drawing away from the ears towards the spine. 2 more breaths here. On your next exhale, we'll drop the hands, legs come wide, and we open out to the right side of the mat here. Heels in, toes out, hands reach really, really, really far away from one another. Inhale, get big, reaching through the crown of the head. Exhale, fingertips reach. Inhale. Nice. Let it go. Breathing in your intention. Sending it out. So strong. Okay, yogi's choice. Maybe you're at the front of the mat again. Maybe you're at the back. We're going to bring our weight into the right foot, but first, everything comes to the heels. Chair pose. 2 breaths here. Really strong. Reaching to inhale. Exhale. Sending it back. Inhale. Exhale. Sending it back. Stand up straight. Head comes over hips. Right leg now is grounding. Left leg lifts. One-legged mountain. You decide. 2 more breaths here. Building strength. Finding your balance. Beautiful. From here, we're going to step back into our crescent lunge. Can you do it without looking, knowing exactly where you're going to? Trust yourself. Arrive. Build crescent lunge for 4 more breaths. Once you've arrived, taking stock of where you are, breathing through it. Beautiful. Arms drop down. And then we're going to bring our weight into our right foot now. We'll step the left foot halfway up. And our weight is still on our right foot. Maybe we straighten the right leg. And the left leg is going to peel off the mat just a little bit. The left foot's going to peel off, rather. Just a little bit. Maybe the toes are still kickstanding on the mat. And we find this long line of energy or intention from the crown of the head to the lifted left heel. Maybe this is where you stay for your warrior 3. The hands can come to the chest in front of the heart, or they can reach along biceps towards the ears. If you'd like to float the back heel, when you lift the back leg, the chest is going to drop towards the mat. 2 more breaths here. Your choice for your warrior 3, wherever you need to be. And then trust yourself. Step back, wide legs, heels in, toes out. Now we're going to bend the knees. As we exhale, inhale, arms come long. Exhale, let go, inhale. Get really big. 1 more breath here. So strong. Maybe you go back to the front. Maybe you come to the back. Work chair pose. Okay, inhale, reach long. Exhale, reach back. Inhale, hands come forward. Exhale, airplane arms. Beautiful. Weight is in the left leg now. Right foot lifts. One-legged mountain. Trust yourself and step back for your crescent lunge. You know where you're going. Arrive. 4 breaths here. Breathing in your intention. Sending it out. Arms can drop. Weight comes into the left leg as much as possible. Right foot might step forward halfway. Find your warrior 3. So maybe you have your hands in front of your chest like this. Maybe your biceps are drawing towards ears. Wherever you want to be. If you want to add a balance challenge, hover the right heel, allow it to lift, and just as with the lever, one side comes up, the other side comes down. So pressing the mat away, lifting through this left hip. So strong. Trust yourself to step back, feet wide. Adjust if you need. Heels in, toes out. Inhale long. Exhale, bend the knees. You decide how deep you bend. Inhale, get big. Exhale. Beautiful. One more. You got it. So strong. Maybe you step to the front, maybe to the back. Chair pose. You decide how deep you bend. Inhale, hands are in front. Exhale, send them back. Airplane arms. Inhale. Exhale. Nice. Weight is in the right foot. One-legged mountain. 2 more breaths here. Make it strong. You know where you're going. Crescent lunge. Send it back. Arrive. Breathe. Can you find some ease? Make some ease. Nice. On this last go around, we're going to find full airplane. So just like we did in Warrior 3, we're going to bring our weight to this right leg, our right leg. I'm going to step my left leg forward halfway, and then I'm going to send my airplane arms back. My shoulders are still drawing away from my ears and towards one another. My pinkies are lifting as high as I possibly can. Maybe you find that lever and you hover your left heel as your chest comes down. Or maybe you stay kickstanding on the mat. And anywhere in between, friends, this is your airplane for 3 breaths. Coming in and out of it as you need. Okay, then we're going to step wide-legged back. Nice, heels in, toes out. Take your time to get there. Here we're going to find our horse pose. So I'm going to bend my knees. You decide how deep you bend. We're going to be here for 3 breaths. I'm going to press my knees back towards behind me. I'm going to think about stacking my shoulders over my hips. You got it. So strong. Okay, straighten the legs. Maybe you step forward. Maybe you step to the back of the mat. Chair pose. Strong. Last chair. Exhale, send it out. Inhale, hands come to front. Exhale, airplane arms. So strong. Weight is in the left leg. Right leg lifts. One-legged mountain. 2 more breaths here. Foot is active. You're going to step on a step in front of you. Step your right leg back. Arrive in your crescent lunge. So strong. It's crescent lunge day. You've got it. 1 more breath. Right here. Your crescent lunge. Last one of the practice. And then full airplane, my friends. You know where we're going. Send the hands back. Really finding integrity. Lifting through the elbows. You're a marionette. or not a marionette, I don't know. Whatever you want to be. Like you're an airplane. Okay, from here, we're going to step back wide one more time. Horse pose, strongest horse. 3 breaths. Maybe you step a little deeper. Maybe you stay a little higher. You got a really tall horse. So strong. Amazing. When you're ready, we're going to lift and straighten the legs. We're going to find our tree pose. So we're going to heel toe, our feet come to standing, and I'm going to bring my weight into my left leg. My right knee is going to come out to the right side, and then my right foot's going to find my left leg. Maybe it finds the ankle, just like this. We have a nice little kickstand. Maybe it finds my calf. You can assist your right foot up to the left thigh. What you don't want to do, it's hard to see where my knee is, but you don't want to be resting on your knee. It's so there and so fun to rest on, but it can hurt your knee, so please don't do that. Okay, find your tree. Really think about pressing your left leg back into your right foot. Once you've had that foundation, grow your branches and make whatever kind of tree you want. We'll be here for 5 more breaths. Really opening through the hips, sending the hip points straight out. Coming in and out of it as you need. It's hard to think about much else when you're in a tree pose. Can be done. Okay, you got it, friends. I'm going to shake it out. Breathe in your intention. Breathe out your intention. From here, we are going to rest on the mat, my friends. Press the mat away with your right foot as much as you can. Left leg comes to find the right. So the left knee's out to the left side. Build your foundation. Really press your right leg back into your left foot. Avoid the knee. Once you have your strong foundation, grow your branches. A really advanced shape here, if you want to add a challenge, is to lift the corners of your mouth. 2 more breaths. Come in, come out, however you need. You got this. From here, let it go. And we will come to sit on our mat with our legs extended long in front of us. Okay. For forward fold. So first, reach the heels as far away from the hips as they can be. And maybe you shimmy them. Cool. Notice if that feels sturdy on your foundation here, on your legs, the base of your hips, where you rest. Okay. If you need, send the heels a little bit forward and find a micro bend in the knees. But choose one adventure and know that you can always change it up. Okay, with a flat spine, we're going to bend from the hips. I always like to use my hands to support me here. Maybe your hands are really far in front of you. Maybe they're even behind you. But just know that they're there to help with the weight of the upper body. We're kind of using it as a counterbalance to find a stretch in the lower back. Maybe the backs of the legs. And this is a stretch that can really change as we breathe. It can be a little boring. I don't know. Of course it's not boring. This is so exciting. But as you breathe, it gets even better, friends, because maybe you notice some muscles that you've been holding on to. There's tension there, and it doesn't need to be there for you to still be in the shape. And maybe curiously, or with curiosity, you can let that tension go or allow the muscles to release. Or maybe as you breathe, you notice more space to bring the shoulders a little bit closer to the toes. Maybe you notice sensations And they might not be my favorite sensations. And as I continue to breathe and focus on my breath, it doesn't feel like I'm in a not favorite place for that long. It feels like there's more space, maybe more acceptance. And once you've arrived in your last bit of forward fold, let it be, and then we will find the mat with our shoulders. And I'm going to bend my knees and bring the soles of my feet to the mat, and then I'm going to heel toe them wider than the mat. Not too wide if you're going to run into anyone next to you. And then bring your knees towards one another. And this might feel really intense. So once you've arrived, if you need to bring your heels a little bit closer to one another, no worries, go there. And if it feels like a good stretch, stay there. And just settle in for 3 more breaths. And then if windshield wipers or anything else is calling to you, go for it. And then we will find our whale's tail, is what I call this. So I'm going to I'm going to actually bring my right sole of my right foot in front of my right hip, and then I'm going to cross my left knee over my right. And if you need a little bit more space, that's totally fine. But bring your knees as close to one another as they can be. And maybe that's enough of a stretch on the hips here. Maybe you want to deepen the stretch by floating the right foot up, still allowing the shoulders to rest on the mat as much as possible. And really, it is possible. So just allow them to rest. And if you can't reach your knees to hold on to them, that's okay. You can kickstand on your right heel, even rest your right heel on a block or something to elevate your legs. But we really want the stretch to be in the lower body as much as you can. And if it feels good, that's calling to you, maybe you grab onto your ankles or shins, hold on to your knees, whatever. Might rock from side to side, just gently. And then when you're ready to move on, I'm going to bring my legs over to the right side of the mat, stacking my left hip over my right and keeping the mat with both shoulder blades. I'm going to tee out my hands or goalpost the arms. You can look over the left shoulder to deepen the supine twist. And if keeping this shape, the whale's tail, in your legs is too intense, you can always unwind your legs and just stack your left knee over the right. Again, allowing this shape to be passive. There's no need to force anything here. So let the stretch continue to build as we breathe for 5 more breaths. When you're ready to move on, we will brace the core and then bring the hips back to the mat and then cross the right knee over the left knee, just as close as they'll come. Maybe the left knee floats up, sends the legs towards the chest. Noticing whatever sensations you notice. And if you don't notice any sensations, that's okay. Checking in with your intention. When you're ready, we'll take supine twist on the other side, allowing the knees to come over to the left side of the mat. course, I'm going to kick over my biggest glass of water I've ever brought here. If you'd like, you can look over at your right shoulder to deepen the twist. If you would like, you can unwind your knees and just stack the right knee over the left. And allow the stretch to build, to evolve as you breathe. Not forcing anything, no expectations, nothing we're needing to get to. Two more breaths here. And then as you're ready, friends, knit our ribs together to bring both hips back to center. And I'm going to bring both knees in. You can lift your head or your shoulders here. Maybe make some circles with the knees, one direction and then the other, or take a happy baby. Whatever pose feels good for you. Gonna reset the spine. And then we will find our last shape of the practice. And I'm going to suggest that you take legs up the wall. Skip it if you don't feel like it, or you don't want your legs over your heart like that. But you can build this without an actual wall in front of you. You just want to think about sending the toes high and then bending the knees and kind of stacking the legs. So if you don't have a wall, your knees will probably be a little bit closer to your chest and like resting, your thighs will be resting on your belly. And then just allow the legs to naturally stack. You're still engaging the hips a little bit to keep them lifted. So you really want to rest the upper body. If you have a wall nearby, you can just kind of sidle next to it and lift one leg up and then allow the other leg to follow, and then move your hips perpendicular to the wall. Okay. And if you want to skip it and you prefer to rest in a reclined pose or resting off to one side, go for it. Come back to your intention one last time. Without judgment. Allowing this to be complete as it is. For a few breaths, and by a few, I mean 30 breaths. We'll take some rest. Then we will close our practice together. Friends, you can always stay here. And if you're ready to move on, start to deepen your breath. Maybe bring some movement into your fingers and toes. Take a good morning stretch up overhead if that feels good, or shimmy the shoulders or the hips. And however you like, moving with intention, come to a comfortable seat. Finish your sentence, Caitlin. Okay. Take your time. And often in yoga, we close our practice with our hands, palms facing one another in front of our chest. I like to rub my hands together, create a bit of heat, and I stack them over my heart. You're important already. You always were. Thank you so much for allowing me to guide you in this practice. Thank you for making this time for yourself. Thank you for joining us in this space. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. Know that you are resilient.